Good morning, welcome to Goodwill Commodities. In this presentation, we are going to see how we can trade in Mcx crude oil today and for this week. Before looking into that, let us see what happened last week and what we expected last week. As you all know, we had moved to the next contract. So, all the candlestick here represents 1 hour. Whenever I place a cursor on any particular candlestick, you can see the date and time below. These vertical dotted lines indicates the price opening and closing for the respective days. You can see this black color candlestick that indicates last week's that was on Monday's price opening. You can see the date and time below. What we expected last week was we expected that crude has got the potential to stay and maintain its uptrend. So as you know that this is a fresh contract, but in the previous contract, if you see the numbers, you can go back and see your presentation. We expected the price to stay in uptrend. Since this is a new contract, you should be aware of all these new numbers, support and resistance lines. So there will be some detailed explanation in this presentation. You can see this, the market had formed a lot of tops here. So one top was around 6,360s, and the second top that happened on 11th of July 6,360. So exactly in the same zone the price opened, that was on last week 15th. So there are two options left for us. If the price could stay or break this 6,360, it can create a new level, that is it is called a breakout. What happened is that initially there was a failure, so that pushed the price down till this price action happened on 15th of July, that was on last week Monday. So the price came down. So you can see there is also an intermediate level here. We had marked this as 6,320. You can see this intermediate level, how we had picked data. Here the price stopped again, here again the price stopped here. There was a lot of stops in and around this intermediate level. So for our easy identification, we had marked this intermediate level also. So the price closed lower. The next day, that was on 16th also, the price opened somewhere near the previous day's price closing. Kindly follow the date. I told you whenever I place the cursor on any candlestick, you can see the date and time below. The next day the price went up, and you can see since this is the intermediate level, the price found some resistance and pushed the price down till 6,220s. But even then we were expecting the price to stay and maintain its uptrend. So last week we made our stance very clear. As a trend follower, unless until we get a very clear trend confirmation or reversal in trend confirmation, we don't bet or go and trade against the trend. So the next day the price opened within this zone, and you can see the market gave a pullback and just closed below the intermediate key resistance zone. And in order to identify that, we had drawn a trend line connecting the lows that happened on 17th. What happened on 18th? The price opened, spiked up. It is called a spiked up opening, where the price cleared this zone in the opening itself. Again it entered into the key zone where it opened on Monday. So you can see this was the zone which provided a failure on Monday. But you can see on 18th the price entered into this zone, and as usual the price founded a resistance, because this is going to be the third time, might be the fourth time the price is entering into this zone and taking a resistance. Once it cleared this, as we told and we expected earlier, it is called a breakout. So the price broke this zone, and you can see everything went up. The next day, that was on 19th, what happened? The price opened bit or more or less near the previous day's price closing. So you can see there was some selling happening on the top. So later the price was pushed to create a new high near 6,500 zone. But as we know that there will always be a profit taking. So whenever the price is peaking, there will be some profit taking. So the price dropped down and it came down till 6,360. You can see this is a very huge drop, intraday drop. We know that this is a more than 100-point drops the market had provided. But in order to identify the trend, As you know that we are using this trend line, and we were repeatedly saying that trend lines are the most powerful tool if you can use it in the right way. And if you can keep following our presentation, we will be modifying how you can see in the last week how we use these trend lines to perfection. So we had drawn a trend line, and you can see that the price entered into this key zone, and then it have provided us a bounce back on Saturday. This was the price action that happened on Friday. So we had made note of all these key zones, 6456, which acted as a intermediate level, and 6420. So the price closed on Saturday. You can see the price closed around 6430. So what we can do for this week, where we can position ourselves as a trader in crude oil for this week and for today. The expected price opening for crude oil is going to be somewhere near the previous days, that was Saturday's price closing. Based on the Mcx price direction, we are predicting the price closing opening. Since you know that we are posting this video presentation much earlier, there may be minor changes subjected to the time variations, and also based on the rupee currency values also. You should take that into account as far as the Mcx price directions are concerned. It is expected to open more or less near the same zone. There may not be a minor surprising changes. So how we can position ourselves, and we know one thing very clearly, this key zone which we had marked. So in order for crude oil to maintain its uptrend, it should stay above 6360. So we had marked this line, and we had told you that support and resistance is not a single line, it is a zone. Support and resistance is a zone, it is not a single line. So this particular area should be our focus and should be in our key concentration zone, because only after breaking this the market found a clear momentum. So if the price cannot sustain this 6360, it gives us an indication that it can fail. This is going to be our key area. So for buyers, have a clean look into this zone. Unless until the price is staying above or above this, if the price can't sustain this zone, we can say crude has got a lot of momentum to stay in uptrend for this week. The second key zone is, even if there is a minor break or failure, we need a closing below 6320, the intermediate zone. We need a closing below the zone to confirm that the market can reverse its trend. These are the two strong criteria crude should put forward in order to reverse its trend. Till then, we always expect crude to continue and maintain its uptrend. Why there is some importance to this intermediate zone? As you all know that we were following this average. So the average is now also converging at this particular key zone. Whenever the average enters into a major support or resistance, by default it is converted into a key decision making zone. So have a look into that. We will be following this average and we will be following these zones in order to, since we told you that we are expecting the price to open in the same area where it closed. For easy identification and guidance, we had drawn this trend line also. So initially the price should stay within this trend. If the trend is if the price is breaking this trend, then it will come and test all these key zones, the support zones. So use the trend lines. Be very careful while trading in crude oil. Why we are giving this warning? Because there are two areas where a trader will find difficult to trade. One is the area where the price is going to change its trend. From the zone, from a particular area, the market will pick a trend. In that area, the traders will be finding it very difficult to pick the trend. That is one area. The second most difficult area is when the market had reached a peak of the trend. So where we don't know that whether the price will reverse or there will be profit taking. So this is a area, that type of particular area, because we know right from 5700 zone the market crude is steadily moving upward. So now the price is around 5600, so we should be very careful while positioning our trade, while positioning our lotages, how much we are going to take. So follow the trend line, follow the rules till the price breaks these two key zones. We expect crude oil to stay and maintain its uptrend. So thanks a lot for watching our videos. Happy trading. Take care. Bye.